Hey, it's Father Taylor, and once again, it's your Friday eBlast on this, for me, a very chilly, but for you New Englanders, it's a wonderful October 1st, Friday, October 1st. So here's what's going on. Just to remind you, great worship coming up, that we have our worship services continually on indoors and outdoors. Our outdoor service, as you know, is 8:30 to 9:30. If you've never done one, I just want to recommend that you give it a shot because maybe outdoor worship is not your thing. But I'd say for most of us, we didn't even, except for lunch in the park, we would have never said, wow, we love worshiping outdoors. But it's a wonderful opportunity. The service is 1 hour. And this is like thing you would really be able to invite people to. Hey, kind of a novelty, like our church is worshiping outdoors. And it's a 1 hour service. It's over at 9:30. So, we can go grab a coffee afterwards. In fact, you can grab a coffee ahead of time and drink coffee during the service. That's an attractive thing. So again, whenever you think about church, things happening at church, don't think just about like, what am I want to do? Think about who else might I invite to come to this, because we'll connect them to Jesus. Anyway, so that's 8:30. We got the 9:45, and Paula is back in town. I haven't spoken to her yet, but I know she's been away. Looking forward to seeing Paula this weekend for worship. Here are some other things that are coming up. On the following weekend, October 9th at 4 o'clock, we're having a blessing of pets. And so let me explain to you how this goes. One, it's always fun, and it's a good thing to have your animals prayed for. Churches have been praying for fleets as they go out to go fishing. Churches have been praying for farms and for crops. Why not pray for your pets? It's not quite the same as a pet insurance policy, but God's blessing on your pets, all things, bright and beautiful. God has made them all. So anyway, so that's a good thing in and of itself. Pet blessing. It's not a long thing. It's pretty short. But here's the other piece. There are a lot of people who you might say, hey, would you come to worship with me? And they would say, oh, thank you. No. But, I'm hoping that we can connect a lot of our neighbors who walk their dogs around our neighborhood. So I'm hoping we see a lot of folks that we don't come to our church to come. So that means if you come, it's not just about you and your dog, or maybe you don't have a dog or a cat. It's about you being a person who helps welcome some other people to our community. And so this is why all events are always open to all kinds of people, and why even if you don't have a pet dog, a cat, small horse, whatever it might be, it's a community event. And so I, think about coming. It's a very brief time. Maybe we get some snacks by that time, not sure. But anyway, a pet blessing, October 9th, right in the parking lot at 9 o'clock. Coming up too, we have some other things that are coming up, including on the 16th, we have a giant, we are the instrument of putting together a whole thing for our community. And there is going to be trunk or treat that begins at 5 o'clock. What is a trunk or treat event? Well, if you have kids, you already know because you probably already go to them around town. But imagine this, you come into a parking lot, you open up your trunk and you decorate it, with some pumpkins and some cobwebby looking stuff and some Easter type colors. And then you've kind of like fill up your trunk with a variety of containers with candy. And so kids come in their costumes and they come up to your, it's like trick or treating, except they do it out of your trunk, right? And it's a really safe way for parents. They don't have to go through the neighborhoods at night or knock on doors. It's right there in a parking lot they can go. We need people to come to buy some candy and to decorate their trunks. You yourself don't have to put on a costume, although the last time we did this in 2019, a lot of our folks did put on costumes, which was price of admission. So you'd say, well, hey, I don't go trick-or-treating. I don't have kids. Yeah, I know. But you have a car and you're part of our church community, and you can make this event really fun. Part of our purpose of a church is not just to be a church that happens to be located in an area, but to help to become the center of the community. And we've been working hard at trying to piece that together. And to bring together the community isn't just a fun thing Right now, it's a healing thing. And Jesus, who would not want to have Jesus as the center of your community? So the more cars we can have, it's like a very short piece, but you can come and have a great impact on and making a really fun time for kids. The kids will come at 5. They'll do some trick or treating around the trunks, and then they're going to assemble by the parking lot and do a Halloween costume parade. They got a fire engine. One of my guys from the police department, Officer Ball, is going to be there. He's going to be the traffic officer, and he also says he's going to participate in the trunk or treat. And then we'll go right down to the green, where we're going to be sponsoring not just the parade, but a movie, 2 movies to be shown. Now, you're saying, hey, I don't really want to stick around the green and watch movies. I get that. So why not participate in for the trunk? Or why not be a host down at the green, something like that. So again, think of events as part of our community, reaching out to the wider community. As we've thought about these events, we are really talking about how do we extend not just to Terriffill, as many of you have said, but how about Simsbury? Because coming up in November, depending on where COVID is, we're probably going to have the Simsbury, what's it called? Simsbury Celebrates. Simsbury, I was thinking Simsbury Collects, but Simsbury Celebrates. And what I want to do is to get a booth at Simsbury Celebrates and to provide hot chocolate, because I've only gone to a couple of them, but both times I've been freezing. And how great it would be to have hot chocolate. And, it's our church. We have a little booth. Hey, the folks from your church in Terriffill, you're just being friendly, meeting people. The first time I went to Simsbury Celebrates, I could not believe how many kids lived in Simsbury. There were easily 500 or 600 kids just out there on that great night. And all kinds of groups were out there to kind of spur along the celebration. I think our church should be out there in that celebration. So think of our trunk or treat as being a warm-up for doing some more community events, just to help make us known out in the community and to invite people into this community that we have as part of our church community. Okay, so that's up. And you guys know, I think I've spoken several times that on October 30th, we're having a retreat, which is mostly silent. And for people who are like so busy as we are, you will find that slowing down and being silent at first seems as foreign as could be. But if you're ever going to be a person who's able to listen for God's voice, and as a church, more than ever, this is the discipleship skill, learning to discern God's voice and where God is calling us and how God is calling us. Silence is just part of the deal. And this one is really specific to parents and grandparents and anybody who really has been interested in, like, what is the Lord's Prayer really about? Our Father in heaven, or how do we hallow God's name? What does it mean for God's kingdom to come? I thought we were just going to heaven at time of death. All those things are in the Lord's Prayer. These are the things that Jesus said should make up your prayer. He didn't say memorize this prayer. He said pray like this. So we're going to take some time to listen to God and to find out what that's about. It's not about a lot of presentations, just enough presentation to allow you go and to take times of listening to the Lord and thinking about and allowing what that means to sink into your heart. So that's coming up on the 30th. Okay, so hope to see you sometime this weekend at the 8:30 or the 9:45. And please consider getting together, maybe partner with another friend of yours to get a trunk for our trunk or treat. It would be great if we could have 15 cars in the parking lot, with a trunk or treat, Halloween candy, so just as a way of gathering kids and kind of creating some energy for our community. Okay. All right. So God bless you. And we hopefully will see you this weekend.